David is Clint's brother? Asa's son?
If you don't believe me, ask Nigel. Nigel has the proof.
So your plan was to marry David before he found out he was a Buchanan and then divorce him once he got his inheritance?
Yes. He would have his inheritance and his birthright, and I would have California community property laws. Everybody wins.
Except David doesn't know he's a Buchanan, if indeed he is.
Well, I dragged him down to Texas so he could claim his inheritance, and then I found out that Asa didn't leave him anything.
Ah, shucks.
So I intended to talk about that with Clint.
You mean you intended to blackmail him?
No, not exactly. But that didn't happen.
Why not?
Nigel. Nigel was so desperate to keep me from telling anyone what I'd found out about David that he was willing to give me his entire inheritance from Asa. He left his long-lost son an island and a boat.
Actually, no. He left them to me. But I will sign them over to you, newlyweds, this very moment, in exchange for your eternal silence about Mr. Vickers' paternity.
That's how much he wanted to protect his beloved Buchanans.
I cannot believe Nigel would just give away his inheritance.
He was desperate. And you know what they say? Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Indeed.
You want my forgiveness. That's all?
I have learned from my master that words have the power to heal. And I believe that the words, "I forgive you," will bring peace to both you and myself. Oh, would you excuse me for a moment? May I help you, old woman?
Is he for real?
Well, if it's a scam, I can't for the life of me figure out how David's gonna gain from it.
Well, I don't know his angle either, but he's not asking for any money.
Well, do you think he'd be so devout if he knew he was worth a fortune?
Thank God he doesn't know. Everybody who does know is certainly not going to tell him.
What I don't understand is, why would Asa announce to the whole world that he has a long-lost son and then leave him nothing in the will?
Would you trust your fortune to David Vickers?
Most certainly not. Now, while this story of yours does defy credulity, it makes a certain amount of sense. I think Jared Banks must have known the truth about David.
I know he did. I heard him make the deal with Nigel.
And of course, he'd have no trouble getting hold of the DNA.
Right. There's plenty of it at your house. So, I found out that David was the true heir, that it wasn't worth anything, went back to Nigel, took him up on his offer, dumped David, and hightailed it out of Texas as soon as I could.
Running me over in the process.
I already apologized for that. Now, this has been very valuable information, and I think we're even.
Not quite. We are not even at all. If everything you're telling me is true, and I'm starting to believe that it is.
It is.
Well then, David is Asa's son in name only. It does not matter if he is Clint or Beau's brother, because he's poor as a church mouse. Which means, my dear, that your information is of absolutely no value to me.
It was very valuable to Nigel.
But he doesn't have any more islands or yachts to give away, does he?
I don't need any help.
Yes, you do. You're old.
No.
If we can just get David out of town and keep Ace's lawyer from finding him, we can buy ourselves some time, meet Ace's challenge, and get the company back.
Okay, I don't know much about estate law. It's not my forte, but why don't we just contest the will?
Because eventually the public would find out that it was us, and so would David.
But he said he didn't want any money.
This is Vickers that we're talking about.
Ah, Vicaroshi. He's renounced wealth, remember?
I think he only said that because he doesn't know that he has any money. If he were a Buchanan, believe me, that robe, it would be in the garbage, and that little old lady would be picking herself up off the ground.
Leave me alone.
Whenever I look at him, I can't believe that I'm looking in the face of my brother. I mean, I know it is. I know he is. I've accepted that, but I'm not feeling it.
Well, you've hated him for so long, and blood's not going to change that overnight.
But maybe not ever. I mean, of all the people in the world, why did it have to be David Vickers? I know he's maybe a member of the family, but if he makes a claim for the fortune, it could be the end of the family.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste.
I did not wish to be rude, but I, who have the gift of health, have a duty to take care of those who are older and weaker than myself. Clint, can I get you a chair or perhaps something soft to sit on?
Okay.
Namaste.
I believe we were speaking of forgiveness, and I must say it would give me great solace if I could return to Tibet with that comfort.
Did you say Tibet? Tibet is nice this time of year.
Tibet is lovely this time of year. Very lovely.
David, this change in you it's remarkable. It is deeply inspiring. And if you truly regret using my daughter's illness to extort money from my family, using a tragedy for your own personal gain, well, how can I refuse you?
Then you forgive me.
Yes, David. Absolutely.
You know, you were right, David. Money was corrupting you. You're a much better person now.
Nora, that warms me inside. I only hope one day that I can warm you inside. Namaste.
Namaste.
Good.
So, now that you've gotten what you came here for, I imagine that you would be leaving Landview and go back on your spiritual path to...
In Tibet.
Yeah. So when will you be leaving?
I do look forward to continuing my studies in Tibet, but my work here is far from over.
You're not going to Tibet?
I'll be staying at the Krishna Rama Center here in Landview until I have completed all that I am charged to do.
Which is?
As I told Vicky, my mission is to make amends to all those I have wronged in my life.
How long is that going to take?
I have committed many sins. It could take some time.
Or not. I mean, look how quickly I forgave you, and Vicky, too.
And Addie, bless her soul.
And Addie, bless her soul. See, you could have this wrapped up in a day and a half.
I have many people that I must see. My next stop is Dorian. Namaste.
Namaste. Well, if David is waiting for forgiveness from Dorian, he could be here forever.